What's going on, man? It's your boy, Jay Holley, and we are back with another episode of Unfiltered with Jesse Holley. Thank you. You're far too kind. You could have been anywhere in the world, but I am so glad that you are here with me. I am Jesse Holley, the sports talk equivalent of Braille. People feel me when I speak. Episode 105. Remember, each and every week, we are shooting live. Well, I'm live. It's recorded, but I'm live. Y'all see recorded, but I'm actually live. I shoot live each and every week from the Playmakers Bar, Sports Bar and Grill, off of Highway 121 in the Colony. If you're coming either south or north on 121 in the Colony, look over to where Top Golf is at. You see the big golfing net right in front of that. You're going to see a big blue building with the big numbers 88 on the outside. I am sitting currently in the Playmakers office. His specific office is where I do this podcast from each and every week. And I'm so thankful for allowing him to let me get this space. So come down, enjoy some good food, some good drinks, some good drink specials. The scenery is great here. The food is great here. Shout out to the chef, Pete. He always trying to feed us when we come in here. Like, hey, man, try this. So it has been Jay Holley approved. Come in here and get some of the wings. All flats fried hard. That's how I like mine. You don't have to like yours like that. But if you want to get some good chicken wings, come on down here to Playmakers Sports Bar right off 121 in the Colony. All right, I'm jump right in. So you guys know what I can do. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend. Follow us on all platforms. You can get Unfiltered with Jesse Holley on wherever you get your podcast from. Spotify, Apple, YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. Follow Fanatics Views on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow Mr. Fourth and Long on Twitter. Holler at me in the comments. Holler at me on Twitter. Holler at me in the streets when you see me. Just don't be aggressive when you walk up on me, because that might not end well for anybody. Just say, what's up, Jay Holley? What's going on, man? Love the show, yada, yada, yada. Got a question. And we can talk it out. Anything that you want to do. But you know how I like to get down. I like to give my motivation at the beginning of the show, because let's be honest, some of you might not be here at the end, and that's okay, because I'm not before everybody. But before you go, I want you to watch at least one episode. By the time you see this episode, 105 of them will be available. Find one. There's some great ones, man. Patrick Creighton, Nate Newton, Barry Church, Derek Holland, Tiffany Gomez, Michael Irvin, Brian Broadus, Jeff Kavanaugh. We had a receiver from Oklahoma. I'm drawing a blank. Mark Clayton. So there's a bunch of them out there. And then there's just some that's just me. There's a lot of them that's just me. Go check it out, man. 15 minutes before you leave. If you don't like those episodes, find another one. There's enough. Find it out there. You can find the episode that you like. And then once you do, I just ask you to share it. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Put it in the group chat. Make love to it. Make love to me in the background. Put me on the TV screen on YouTube and make love to me in the bedroom. I promise you, I have a very tantalizing voice. She will thank you for it later, fellas, and he will thank you for it, ladies, if you do that as well. Because what's better than a little bit of sex and a little bit of sports talk? I'm just saying. I mean, I can be the best of both worlds. All right, man. Let's get into it. And the word of the day is very, very, very simple for me. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And if you can read my shirt, that is the message for today. It's a simple, simple message. You are enough. That's it. You are enough. I don't have to have some long diatribe about it. I'm just here to tell you today, whoever needs to hear this, whoever is seeking and searching and looking for confirmation, I'm here to tell you that you are enough. You are enough for that relationship. You are enough as a parent. You are enough for that job. You are enough for any and everything that you can think of. You are enough. You don't have to get extra special or this or that and the third. You are enough. So to all my people out there who are dealing with something, remember that you are enough, that you are loved. And if I can ever help in any kind of way, shape, or form, you know where to find me. I just told you all the places where I'm at. So find me there, and man, I'll help you the best way I possibly can. But I want to remind you all today, those of you that truly need to hear it, You are enough. All right, man, let's get into this thing. The Cowboys released their schedule yesterday. And so, man, let's just jump right into it. I mean, with no further ado, I don't have to, there's nothing to do. Just jump right into it. The schedule is here. Football is near. I cannot wait. The Cowboys went 7-10 last year, did not make the playoffs. A very disappointing season. It was riddled with injuries. It was riddled with shortcomings. It was riddled with a lot of unfulfilled expectations from the Dallas Cowboys, from some of their players. The guys didn't show up. The injuries did not help. Impacted them being able to do what they do. Of course, the biggest injury of them all was Dak Prescott. Did not finish out the year. Had hamstring surgery. Tore the hamstring completely off the bone, trying to scramble and run away. And he looks to be on track to recover from that. CeeDee Lamb had the shoulder injury. He's back and fine. And they said, well, we're going to draft according to our board. And the Cowboys had a good draft, really good draft, had a mediocre offseason to begin with. But they had to fill spots, and so they did that. They went to the draft, had a really good draft, then made a dynamic trade. And when they got George Pickens, the embattled receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers, to go opposite of CeeDee Lamb as the Batman and Robin show, you can now kind of put them in the top duos in the league. You know, there's somewhere in between maybe 4, 5, 6 in the top 10. You can argue that out how you want. Maybe one day we'll do the duos. I may just do that up and we do the duos of wide receivers in the league. But CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are in that mix. In the addition to that, the Cowboys at the end of the season last year fired Mike McCarthy, Michael from Pittsburgh, as I call him, and they hired first-time head coach, long-time assistant, son of a former head coach, been around the league for 3-4 decades, it seems like, and he finally has gotten his start as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Brian Schottenheimer, he brought in a whole new coaching staff, and they're supposed to be doing this culture change, and all of that is good, and all of that is well, and it sounds good in the press conferences, and it looks good, and the press, kits and all that kind of stuff, but it comes down to one thing and one thing only. Can you win football games? Talking don't win football games. Saying the right things don't win football games. You know, having the right approach, gelling, that don't win football games. Okay? That's all that's going to matter. Can the men in the uniform and the coaches on the sideline that are coaching those men in the uniform, can they do enough? Can they come together enough and have a cohesive unit to where they can go out and win football games? Now, there's one very, very distinct place that think this isn't true. That think the Cowboys, who only won 7 games last year, has set the Cowboys over under in victories at 7.5 this year. Vegas says that the Cowboys, and they have been on this for a while. They was on 7.5 wins before the draft, before the trade, all the other stuff, and they've been on 7.5 since then, and it has not moved. Now, what makes this a very, very, very interesting thing is, and almost a little bit scary, because you always hear the laughing, joking things about the script. The NFL has a script. The NBA is rigged. The NFL has a script. Baseball is juicing. I guess the only pure sport left is hockey. Shout out to hockey. They let you fight on the ice until somebody gets knocked out and then they stop it. So maybe hockey is the only pure sport that's left. So the script for the NFL, there's a script for the NFL, and Vegas is saying 7.5 wins. And I'm like, boy, I mean, there's a reason why all those buildings are really high and the lights never go out in Vegas, and they're able to go 24 hours a day, because Vegas is right way more than they're wrong. They don't get to stay up that long and have that much of a profit and keep those lights on 24 hours a day being wrong. So that's what's a little bit in the back of my mind that gives a little bit of cause for pause. I'm like, damn. Vegas ain't move off this. They did not after the draft, which a lot of people are saying the Cowboys got anywhere from a B to an A- in their draft. Not after a really big trade in George Pickens bringing a number one type receiver. He has a number one type qualities to the Cowboys to give CeeDee Lamb a dynamic duo. Vegas said, cool beans, bro. 7.5. Vegas said, what did it say? He said, what Shannon Sharp said? He said, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas this, Dallas that, 7.5. That's it. They haven't come off of it yet. So I'm a little bit nervous.
I think they're still trying to draw people. If you go over that, you might turn people.
7.5. I mean, come on. They won 7 last year without Dak Prescott. You would think having Dak Prescott come back, that's at least good for one more win. So I don't know if 9 would have gotten people to come to the table and bet some money. 7, what do they call it? A stone cold pipe lock? What do they call it? The gambling thing they call it? I don't know. Lead pipe lock? I don't know. I don't know, man. It's interesting. It's interesting, and it better be interesting. But for Vegas to stick on that, and we'll see how it fluctuates between now and the training camp and how we get to the season. But they are dead set right now on 7.5. So when the schedule came out last night, we already knew the opponents. And we knew from the opponents, okay, the Cowboys are going to have to bring their A game because this is going to be right now the Cowboys, the two divisions that they play. The Cowboys have the NFC North, right? The NFC North, the Vikings, the Bears, the Packers, and I'm missing one. The Vikings, the Bears, the Packers, and the Lions, right? And then they have the AFC West, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and who's the other one in the AFC West? Sorry. Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos. Is the AFC West. So those are the two divisions that they're playing. And here's an interesting stat, and we'll get more into the schedule. The Cowboys have the 5th toughest strength of schedule in the National Football League. And we're talking about it, and we're saying what a brutal schedule. Philadelphia and the New York Football Giants have an even tougher strength of schedule. So while we think this might be a murderer's row for the Dallas Cowboys, Philly got to go through it too. New York has to go through it too. And in the top 10 also after Dallas is the Washington Commanders. So the NFC East is going to be a war of attrition because they're playing the same type of schedule. They're all playing high level schedules. Let me give you another interesting fact. On this season, when you look at this schedule, the Cowboys have the most Thursday night football games in one season. This year, they play 4 Thursday football games. Prior to that, the Cowboys have played 10 total Thursday night football games. Not a bad record. Cowboys are 9-1. They're 4-0 at home, 5-1 on the road, and they're 2-0 when they play a division opponent on Thursday night. So, a lot of Thursday night games. So let's get into this schedule breakdown. And I'll talk more about because they have some brutal moments in this schedule. And of course, they open up the season. Thursday night football. They are the first game out the gate. And let me just hit on that for a second. To be the first game of the NFL season, if we're being honest, I'm not saying you got to throw a dud out there, but to be the first game of a much anticipated start of the season, you can put just about anybody in that spot and they're going to drive ratings. But the NFL schedule maker said, nope, we are going to put the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, you think we might be in a little recession. The NFL doesn't care. Okay? NFL could care less. It's going to cost you, I think I said this last show, it's going to cost you, if you watch every NFL game that's available through all the different packages, Sunday, the NFL ticket, the Amazon Prime, the Peacock, the Netflix, if you buy those season packages, it's going to cost you about $1,500. If you buy each season package for each one of those sporting things, it's going to cost you roughly about $1,500. Now, I don't condone stealing. I'm just saying I understand it. I'm just going to say that I understand it. I'm not condoning stealing, but if you decide to go elsewhere to watch these games and not pay for the subscriptions, then, more power to you. But I just want to get this simple note before we get into the schedule. I saw something that this came from Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter, he put out the 5 most in-demand games, NFL games, following the release of the schedule on yesterday. And this is the average ticket price to get into these games. At number 5, and you'll see why I said the NFL was very, very smart by what they put the Eagles and the Cowboys for the first game of the season. At number 5, the New York Jets at Buffalo. The schedule was released and the ticket prices came out for these games. Jets at Buffalo in week 18. $1,169 average ticket price for that game. Jets in Buffalo, the last game of the season. At number 4, Sunday Night Football, Ravens at Bills. That ticket, average ticket price, $1,183 to get a ticket to that game. Coming in at number 3, another Sunday Night Football game, Packers at the Cowboys. The average ticket price to get into Jerry World for that game, with the Cowboys, I hope will get their lick back, $1,295 the average ticket price for that game. Coming at number 2, Thanksgiving afternoon, Chiefs at Cowboys. That ticket price, $1,491. And at number 1, the most in-demand NFL game following the release of the NFL schedule, the average ticket price, Thursday Night Football, September 4th, the first game right out the oven. The Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Ring night, banner night for the Philadelphia Eagles. The going ticket price, on average, to get in to watch that game, $1,743. So if that's the ticket prices, you know what they're getting for advertising and all that comes along with that. They have these billion-dollar TV agreements with all the different streaming services, right? I think Thursday night is that, that might be NBC, but I know Peacock has some Thursday night games. Amazon has some Thursday night games. I mean, it's all over the place, and these networks and these streaming services are paying billions and billions of dollars, and you're going to get the ratings regardless, no matter what. But the NFL said we don't want to hit a double. Doubles are cool. And if you average the double every time you got up at bat, you're probably going to the Hall of Fame, right, Tay? If you average a double every time you got up, you're probably going to the Hall of Fame. You'll probably be up there in the hits leaders, up there with Pete Rose and Ichiro and guys like that, right? And Kirby Puckett and those kind of guys, the guys who just flat out hit the baseball. You're probably going to wear a Hall of Fame jacket. And I think the opening day NFL game is easily an average double, triple. Easily. But when you add the Cowboys to the mix, it becomes a home run. So the NFL said, the hell with a double. We want the whole damn thing. And last year, out of 100 primetime television programs, 75 of the 100 most watched television primetime programs, 75 were sporting events. Out of the 75 that were sporting events, 49 was the National Football League. Out of the 49 of the 100 most watched primetime games, the Cowboys had 3, Philadelphia had 4, and the Chiefs had 6. Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. What teams will probably play the most on primetime this year? If you're guessing the Chiefs, who are leading the league, I think they have 7 primetime games, followed by the Cowboys, followed by the Eagles. So there is a method to the madness of the NFL schedule makers. But let's get into the schedule. Of course, coming out the gate, week 1, Cowboys, Eagles in Philadelphia. They will be having their ring night. It's an important game. It's an absolute important game, and I'm hyped for it. I think this is good on good. I think the Cowboys, if you want to come out and really put the world on notice, this is not like beating not beating like the Cleveland Browns. You come out and you put a whooping on the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending world champions. You absolutely start your season off right. You give Brian Schottenheimer kind of a little bit of momentum. You put a little bit of more fuel to the jet of Brian Schottenheimer for it to take off. And it's a great way to start your season. So, I'm looking at that game right now, and in the words of the great and legendary Ric Flair, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. And if the Cowboys are going to find themselves in any conversation as being true to for real to life playoff and Super Bowl contenders, you got to beat contending teams. You got to beat teams who we look at and go, they're good football teams. And it doesn't get any better than beating the defending world champions. So that's going to be an important game for the Cowboys to start out. And I may give you some predictions of what I think of these games. Don't hold me to it. It's in May. It's May. Football is fluid. Sports are fluid. It's May. For the purposes of giving you some sort of type of number, loss, win-loss, don't hold me to it in May. Don't try to pull this clip up and be like, you said that the Cowboy wasn't going to do. It's May. Now, hold me to it when I say it in September or I say it late August after I seen OTAs and I seen minicamp from my own eyes up close and in person. Then you can hold me to those gradings and those ratings and those win-loss records. It's May. Don't hold me to it right now. So if I say the Cowboys will probably lose week 1 game, don't come back and be like, you said. It's May. Today, right now, I feel like the Cowboys, if they had to play the Philadelphia Eagles, they lose. I just feel that way. But they open up against the Eagles. Then you got the Giants in week 2. And then the Bears in week 3. I think you beat the Giants. I think the Cowboys beat the Giants. And they find themselves at 1-1. Lose to the Eagles, beat the Giants. You're 1-1 in your record. You're 1-1 in the division. Not a bad start, Cool. Most people probably won't have you beating the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe it happens. It's ring night. They're distracted. There's too many tickets. They're crying because the banner's being dropped. All that comes around banner night. And maybe you sneak one out, and that's great. But right now, I don't think that you will. So I got you at 1-1. Take on the Giants. The Giants don't have a quarterback. I don't believe in Russell Wilson. I don't believe in Jackson Dart right now. I think Brian Daboll is on the hot seat. Part of the reason why he did not draft Shedeur Sanders is because you don't want to be a head coach on the hot seat, draft Shedeur Sanders in New York City, and start losing football games. Because automatically, the first thing that they're going to do is call for Shedeur Daddy to come coach the football team. Dion in New York City is ratings gold. If you think, the NBA rigging it to send Luka to LA because they needed some ratings to happen for their NBA team, and then the Dallas Mavericks getting the number 1 overall pick, you think that was rigged? If Daboll would have drafted Shedeur Sanders, the talk would have got real loud if they didn't win any football games in New York about paying that $10 million buyout at Colorado to get Dion to come coach the New York Football Giants. Just saying. Week 3, the Cowboys, and I like this because they travel to Chicago. Week 3, still September, still warm, not cold yet. Now, I'm going to say this with a lot of bias, but somewhat unbiased. If you watch any of my shows, you know that I love the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson, of course, was a teammate of mine at the University of North Carolina. And I do believe that Ben Johnson is going to turn that franchise around. I believe that the Bears, now if I'm right, y'all can pull this clip back up. Don't pull the other stuff I'm talking about. But if I'm right about this, pull this clip up. Pull it up. But if I'm wrong, don't pull it up. But if I'm right, put it on repeat. We're going to clip this. If I'm right, we're going to clip this and be like, way back when in May, Jesse said, we're going to cut out the part where I said, don't hold anything that I say in May to the fire in September. But I have a sneaky suspicion that the Chicago Bears are going to have that Washington Commanders type ride like they had last year. I think they're going to come out of the ashes this year. I think Caleb Williams, for all his talent, I think he finally has a coach that is able to take the talent and then pair it and match it up with the mentality. I think Caleb Williams lacks what Patrick Mahomes lacked early in his career. Patrick Mahomes didn't know how to read defense early in his career. He just out there hooping. Patrick Mahomes is out there hooping. He said, I didn't know when I was reading defense. I was just out there hooping. I was finding a guy open. I had arms on him. I think that's where Caleb Williams is at. I think Caleb Williams is a talented guy who didn't have much protection last year, who really couldn't read a defense. The new coaching style of guys like McVay, guys like Shanahan, guys like O'Connell, Mike McDaniels, these new iteration of offensive-minded coaches, one of the things that they are doing for their quarterbacks are they're taking the guesswork out of it. They're designing plays and they're calling plays and they're telling the quarterback, hey, this is the play. If when you get to the line of scrimmage, you see this defense, the ball goes here. Just throw it there. The great John Kitna, I learned this from John Kitna. John Kitna learned this from Mike Marks. And it's simple. You never go broke taking profit. And the new age coaches is getting back to that, having the quarterback take the thinking out of it where they can just go play freely. And if it's like, hey, we're running this play. If they run cover 2, that's where the ball's supposed to go. Just deliver it. Don't think about it. Just throw it right there. It's an 8-yard gain. It's 2nd and 2. We're going to play the percentages that we can get 2 yards to get a first down. And then we'll line up again. And if here's a play. If this is the coverage, throw the ball right here. If it's a 10-yard gain, we move the chains and we do it over and over and over and over again. That's why you see a guy like Brock Purdy have so much success. It's not because he's a super talented, uber talented dude with all the, traditional things that you want in a quarterback. No, he's Mr. Irrelevant. He was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. Same thing when you see the resurgence of a guy like Jared Goff. You see, you saw go to Minnesota last year. Sam Darnold go to Minnesota last year and get 14 victories. The same Sam Darnold who couldn't get on the field. They kicked out of New York City. Like, that's the same guy. That's the same dude. That's the same dude who is in Seattle now. He's in Seattle now. I will see. We'll see. I don't know if Seattle has the offensive mind that can get it there. Their defensive-minded head coach that they have over there in Seattle. But this is the new age way the coach. And I think Ben Johnson is going to unlock something in Caleb Williams. And hopefully it works out for the best. But the Cowboys travel to the Bears. I'm going to say the Cowboys win, but I will not be surprised if the Bears beat the Cowboys. This Week 4 matchup is honestly, if I go through this schedule and I had to circle a game that I am most excited to see, it's Week 4. It's Week 4. The Cowboys have an opportunity to get their lick back. The Green Bay Packers came into your home in the playoff game that many people didn't have them winning and beat the ever-living dog caca out of you. in front of your fans in the playoffs. You got to get your lick back. Now, this is not the playoffs, so I don't know if the lick is as great. But the Packers have owned the Cowboys at home. Hell, whenever they've played them in the last couple of years, especially in AT&T Stadium. At one point in time, it was named Aaron TT Stadium because they could always win in that stadium. Cowboys got to get their lick back. Got to get your lick back. You have to come in this game with a level of veracity and animosity and anger and wanting to destroy the Green Bay Packers. You got to get your lick back. This is one of the games that I'm looking for. I know it might be early, but this Week 4 game to Jesse Holley is going to tell me all that I need to know about who the Dallas Cowboys is, the version of the Dallas Cowboys of the 2025-2026 season. By the time we get to this Packers game, when the whistle blows and there's 3-digit, there's 000 left on the clock, I'm going to have a very good, between the first 3 games in this Packer game, I am going to have a very, very, very good idea who the Dallas Cowboys are. It may be, I'm going to know. I'm going to be able to come here and tell you, here's what this football team is. And the Cowboys historically have beat up on teams that are below 500. And they've kind of, dominated those teams and kind of struggled a little bit against the teams above 500. We like to say good, as good or better than the Cowboys. But the Cowboys got to get their lick back in Week 4 against the Packers. Then you have the Jets and you have the Panthers in Week 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the first 8 weeks, the Cowboys play 5 road games. Now, they fared well last year on the road. They stunk ever-living hell at home. But they got 5 of the first 8 games are on the road. You have to be battle-tested early in this game. Here's what I will say about the Cowboys. Here's what they cannot do. The Cowboys can't have oops on the schedules this year. This schedule is so difficult. When you look at teams like Week 5, the Jets, Week 6, the Panthers, can't be oopsies. You cannot drop a game to either one of those teams. You are better than those teams. You should dominate those teams. You should walk out of there with a victory. In Week 6 against Week 6 against the Panthers, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, they should be on the sideline with a handful of sunflower seeds talking about it's a cold damn wedding, dog. It's a cold damn wedding. If those of you don't know Kings of Comedy, that's a Kings of Comedy reference. But they should be on the sideline eating Twizzlers, cracking jokes with the towel over their head against the Panthers in the fourth quarter. Those are the games that you have to come in and annihilate those teams. You're better than the Panthers. You're better than the Jets. You got to show it. You can't have an oopsie on this schedule. This schedule is far too difficult for you to give up oopsie games to teams like Carolina or New York. And there's some more on the second half of that schedule. I think the Cowboys should and will win both of those games. Week 7, they play the Commanders come to town. Now, I usually give the Cowboys the Giants games. I say you win the Giants games, and sometimes I'm on the fence about how you split with the Commanders. I think you split with the Commanders again this year. So whether you want this game or the next game to be a game where you split, I think you split with the Commanders, and I think you lose the home game. So I'm going to say that you lose this particular game. Then you have the Broncos at Denver. The Cowboys have historically struggled against the Broncos. The good thing is Vic Fangio is not at the Broncos, but he is in Philadelphia, so you got to deal with him anyway. He's historically had the number of Dak Prescott. Sean Payton, old school coach. I think he has a lot of petty in him. I know that he's wanted to be the Cowboys head coach for a while. Him and Jerry Jones kind of couldn't come up, but make that thing work and just in timing and all that kind of crazy stuff. So I don't know, but the Cowboys got to have that victory, and they have to have the next victory as well. The Cardinals come to AT&T Stadium on a Monday Night Football game. Old Kyler Murray comes back to the great state of Texas, to AT&T Stadium, where if you did not know, if you're not from Texas or you're not, you haven't really dwelled among the things that are happening in Texas, Kyler Murray and his entire football playing career, high school, college, I want to say pros too, has never lost in AT&T Stadium. He is, as LeVar Ball would say, undefeated, never lost. Let's hope we put an L on that mark for Kyler coming back home. The Cowboys didn't go into the bye. They come out of the bye with another Monday Night Football game. They go Monday Night Football game bye. And here's why that Carolina game is a little bit, it's a Monday Night Football game. You have a bye coming up. Don't start looking ahead. Don't start thinking about Cabo. Don't start looking up and saying, I'm going to be on an island somewhere. We're going to win on Monday night. We're going to have meetings on Tuesday. Coach going to give us the rest of the week off. And we're going to be chilling. We report back on Monday. Don't start looking ahead. This is why you need a veteran team, why you need that good leadership, because you don't want guys to start looking ahead and they give up an oops game to the Cardinals. If I'm not mistaken, did they lose to the Cardinals last year? They lost to the Cardinals last year. Yeah, gave an oops game to the Cardinals, and then you got to the end of the year, you were trying to, that was 2 years ago, whenever it was, you lost to the Cardinals, and you were trying to find ways to get in the playoffs. You're like, damn, that was 2 years ago. It was like, damn, for seeding and stuff like that. You like, it was in Arizona. Now you didn't have the seeding that you wanted because of games like the oopsies against the Arizona Cardinals of the world. Then you play the Vegas Raiders. All of you that wanted Ashton Genty to be a Dallas Cowboy, well, you'll get a chance to see him against the Dallas Cowboys when they take on the Vegas Raiders. Week 12, Philadelphia. I don't think the Cowboys will beat Philadelphia this year, at home or away. I just don't. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are probably the best put together team in the National Football League, both offensively and defensively. I think they're that good all across the board. Lines, backfields, receivers, secondary. I think Philadelphia is the best team total put together in the National Football League. Then you got this is the murderous row right here. This is where I like to do movie quotes and movie references. The next 3 weeks after the Raiders game, the next 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks, depending on what J.J. McCarthy is as the quarterback with the Minnesota Vikings. But the next 3 weeks, you play 3 games, I believe in 11 days. I wonder what's going to break first, your spirit or your body. Like that can be that type of like remember when Bane and Batman were there first and he was like, I wonder what's going to break first, your spirit or your body. I think this is where the Cowboys, you might have to ask that Bane question. After the Raiders game, which will probably be a physical game, knowing how Pete Carroll wants to play the brand of football, your next 3 games, and this is, again, 3 games in a span of 12 days, 11 or 12 days, you play the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Fighting Man Campbell's Detroit Lions. Here's another interesting stat. Weeks 12 through 17, the Cowboys play Philadelphia, Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota Vikings, the Chargers, and the Washington Commanders. All teams that won at least 11 games last season. The Cowboys will be the first team in NFL history to play 6 straight games versus teams that all won 11-plus games the previous season. The back end of this Cowboys schedule is brutal. Brutal. And I hope that coming off that bye, that they are at least a little bit healed up, because they're going to need everything. And what makes me a little bit afraid about this is, and maybe they can play him differently, but a guy like Micah Parsons, who you need to show up in these games, this is where he's wearing down. This is where he's historically wore down in the back half of the season, where the number of sacks go down, where the speed breaks down, and he's not creating as many pressures. You hope that is different because you're going to need every single bit against the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Lions. That is regular game, Thanksgiving, Thursday afternoon, and then the next week, Thursday, against the Lions. I mean, an absolute brutal schedule for the Cowboys. They could easily lose 3 games in a row right there. Easy. They could lose to the Eagles, lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Lions. And I wouldn't be shocked one bit. 2 out of the 3 of those games are at home. You have the Eagles at home, the Chiefs at home, and then you go to Detroit.
So is that what Vegas is looking at?
Vegas could be looking at the back half of this schedule, honestly. Vegas could be looking at weeks 12 through 17 and going, yeah. That you can go through this gauntlet right here. And I'm not saying that the Vikings are it, but they won 14 games last year. The Chargers, we'll see what they are under Harbaugh and Justin Herbert again this year. But maybe Vegas is looking at that. Vegas is looking at that and saying, this is where they break. This is where the dam breaks. And, we're hoping that no injuries have happened at this point in time of the season. Guys aren't banged up. DeMarvion Overshown, linebacker who's recovering from an ACL injury, he tweeted out or Instagram out or whatever it was. He tweeted it out Thanksgiving game. He's hyped about that and said, "Oh, I'll be back by then. I'll be back by then." So we'll see. I mean, he'll be back. I don't know how much he'll be ready to go for that game. So you got the Eagles, Chiefs, Vikings. Oof. Minnesota, I don't know what J.J. McCarthy is. And if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a damn thing in this league, in my opinion. Then you play the Chargers. You know what sometimes makes me scratch my head about the Chargers? If I had to go and build a prototypical corner to my liking, what would he look like? If I did a blind test, a lot of what he looked like and his abilities would match Justin Herbert. He's probably, and maybe Josh Allen is the second, the model of what you want your quarterback to look like. And some of you might be like, well, what about the black quarterbacks? I don't want a super athletic quarterback. I want somebody to go stay in the pocket. I know that Josh Allen will run, but y'all can have the athlete that play quarterback. Give me the dude with the bazooka arm that can make every throw and willing to stand and face the gun barrel and deliver a strike to me as a wide receiver. That's the diva in me. But Justin Herbert is that. The problem is he hasn't lived up to it. You talk about Dak Prescott not living up to the money and the hype and all that kind of stuff. What about Justin Herbert? He has not lived up to the hype. Maybe they finally unlock it for him in LA this year with the Chargers. We'll find out. Week 17, the Cowboys they go to Washington on Christmas Day. If you got a family, especially if you work in this business and you cover the Cowboys, your family better get used to doing holidays the day before or the day after. Because as long as I've been a part of the Cowboys as a player and a part of the Cowboys covering the media, I have Thanksgiving on Wednesday. And now, Christmas Day, I got a football game on Christmas Day. So, I don't know. I'm not complaining. I'm thankful I get to do what I get to do. I get to cover a team and get paid for it. So, I mean, hell, if everybody wants Christmas gifts, I got to pay for them somehow. That means working on Christmas. But the Cowboys play the Commanders on Christmas. If I give them the loss earlier in the year, then I got to give them the win at this point in time of the year. And then the Cowboys get down to the Week 18. They play the New York Football Giants. In my humble opinion, and I know I didn't give wins or loss for each one of these. I did this earlier, and I had the Cowboys at 10-7. So Vegas, you owe me some money. Appreciate you, bro. Pay me, Vegas. I got them at 10-7, a reverse of what they were last year. They need to win week 18. The Cowboys will need to beat the New York Football Giants in week 18. It won't be a hat and jersey game. They're gonna have to play that game. They're gonna have to play that game because I don't know if 9-8 gets them into the playoffs. They need to get that 10th win. And so that'll be them taking on the New York Giants in week 18. And if they can pull that off, they find themselves in the playoffs. It's going to be tough. Wild cards are going to be tough to reach. It's going to be knockdown, drag out. If the Cowboys make the playoffs this year, they would have been supremely battle tested. And there's one thing that I want to talk about from a player's perspective about this schedule that's really, really, really wonky. When you start looking at, especially that back half, man, and you're looking at, you got Monday night bye, Monday night regular season, then you got Thursday, Sunday, regular, then Christmas is on a Thursday again. You got all these Thursday, Sundays, and I can just tell you as a player, one of the things that we do is we get into this routine, right? So we like to know that on Mondays I do this, on Tuesdays I do this. All a part of your recovery. All a part when you hear the term being a pro, it's these are the days that I study this. These are the days that I'm working on this. These are the days that I'm doing my rehab for this. These are the days that I'm getting this done. This that I'm getting acupuncture, or I'm getting cupping, or I'm getting a massage, or I'm getting a pedicure. Whatever it is, players usually begin to get their routine. And mentally, you start thinking it and your body starts reacting to knowing, okay, I'm going to have this day off. So we're going to rest. And now we're going to be able to recover, or it's going to speed up my recovery for whatever it's going to be. When you start playing all these games and you have these Thursdays, Sundays, Mondays, Thursday, Mondays, Sunday, Thursdays, what ends up happening is the schedule for your practices get tweaked. And what's an actual Monday becomes a Wednesday sometimes in your schedule, depending on how it works. And it throws everything off. It throws the recovery off. It throws your mental ability to know that, I got the proper amount of stuff that I need to go out there and play. Football is a mental game. Yes, it's physically gifted, but it's also a mental game. And if you just don't feel right, you start questioning things. Your step isn't what it needs to be. Your reaction isn't what it needs to be because you just feel like, man, I'm out of rhythm. So it's going to be interesting, and it better be interesting, that if the Cowboys or the players of the Cowboys, how they adjust to this type of schedule. With all of these primetime games, like I said earlier, Thursday night games, they have the most this season in 4. It's the most that they've ever had in NFL history. So it's going to be a difficult year, man. It's going to be a difficult year. And after looking at this schedule and how the winding road that it goes through, I'm not saying Vegas is wrong. But if they're looking at it and they're saying that back end is going to be a difficult stretch, I can see it. I can see it. Weeks 12 through 17. It's the first time in NFL history that a team will play 6 straight games versus opponents who had 11 plus victories the previous year. Because I'm not mistaken, the Commanders had 13 wins last year. Like the Chargers had 12 or 13 wins last year. I know for sure the Vikings had 14 wins. I know for sure that the Lions had 14 wins. I think the Chiefs may have had like 13 wins. That's crazy. That's crazy. The NFL 12-5. The schedule makers did the Cowboys no favors with this schedule at all. This schedule, if I'm being honest with you, this schedule is not a 7-5 and a 7-10 in the previous season football schedule. This schedule is like a number 1 seed, went to the Super Bowl, went to the NFC or AFC championship game type schedule. This ain't a 7-10 football team supposed to have a bunch of gimmies. This ain't it. This ain't it. And the way that they designed it, they ain't do us no favors at all. At all. This is even more imperative why the Cowboys have to have everybody in training camp fully healthy, because you can't come half-stepping in this schedule. If you come half-stepping to start the season, Eagles, Giants, Bears, Packers, you mess around and get to week 5 and you could be 1-4. You could lose to the Eagles. Sorry, you could be 1-3. You can lose to the Eagles, beat the Giants, lose to the Bears, lose to the Packers. You could be 1-3 heading into week 5. Now, maybe you double back and you get 2 wins and you be, what's that, 3-5? At that point in time, sorry, 2-3? 3-3? It can get away from you. Got to have Jerry, Steven, sign Micah. Give him the contract. You know you're going to do it anyway. Give it to him. Sign the deal so that you can ensure that he is there for training camp. Don't play around with that. Don't have a Zach Martin situation. Don't have a CeeDee Lamb situation where these guys hold out and they're not at training camp. And then now when they get to the season, it takes them another 3 or 4 weeks to kind of get acclimated, get back into football shape, because you only get in football shape, people. You only get in football shape, people. What I'm about to say next is wild. You only get in football shape by playing football. You can't simulate football shape by just working out. It's impossible. The only way you get in football shape is by actually playing football. Don't have that man hold out. Because I'm telling you now, I'm championing for a guy who's going to get record-breaking money to not show up at training camp until he get the bag. He's earned it. If I was him, I wouldn't show up either. Pay me. Pay me and I'll be there. With a new defensive coordinator, a new defensive system, a new defensive squad, you're not secure in the back end. You're going to need Michael Parsons to be at his very best. Do not, and I repeat, do not force that man's hand to hold out. Just sign him. You're going to sign him anyway. You're going to give him David Malugeta is going to get every single red cent. Period. So just do it now and get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off. It's going to cost you a grip. All right, man. That's the schedule breakdown for me. Remember, I told you the caveat, don't hold this to unless I'm right. If I'm right, we can bring this back up in September. If I'm not right, then we bring it up in February. But it's fluid. What I said today is probably going to change by the time we get to August, the end of August, when I get a chance to see them live and in person. So don't hold me to it, but hold some of this stuff to it. And if I reserve the right to pat myself on the back if I'm right, I also reserve the right to not say anything about that I was wrong if I was actually wrong. So let me know what you guys have for the schedule. Right now, I had the Cowboys. When I did my schedule, they're 10-7. They barely make the playoffs, but I don't think they're a seriously playoff contention team as we sit today in May. Let me know in the comments, what is your record for the Cowboys according to this schedule. Also, let me know if there is a game on this schedule that you are excited to see. For me, it's the Packers game. I'm really looking forward to the Packers game and see if the Cowboys can't get their lick back. At home against the Packers, I really want to see them be nasty and dominant and just outright arrogant. Just go and whoop up on them and don't stop whooping up on them. Run it up if you can. Run it up. Run it up. Run these jokers out the gym like the old school running rebels. Run them out the gym. All right? So let me know. And remember, tell a friend to tell a friend at Unfiltered with Jesse Holley on Spotify, on Apple, on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Unfiltered with Jesse Holley. Follow Fanatic Views. Also follow me at Mr. Fourth and Long on Twitter. Hit me up anytime. If you see me in the street, say what's up. But remember, respectfully, don't run up on me all crazy because I'm a little nervous. I'm old. My nerves are bad. and I react to things that I think may not be there. But I'm really a nice and peaceful person. All right, man, that's it for your boy, Jay Holley. Remember, read my shirt. You are enough. You are more than enough. And never let anyone tell you otherwise. You are enough. All right, that's it for your boy, Jay Holley, man. I am out of here. You know what it is. Eliminate the contingencies. I'm out.